All right, video number 134. My name is Morty. I'm building the space elevator. Yeah, so today I actually had a pretty good meeting with some people about starting this kind of group, I guess if we're gonna call it that, of yeah, I guess like a network really of people that are sort of working together to get to this much larger end goal of human access in space or going to space. And I guess it's really figuring out what that exact line is and finalizing that. But yeah, again, there's always different ideas. But yeah, okay. Either way, it's a good conversation. It was very interesting. We're planning to start doing it monthly and then obviously grow the group and things like that. So we'll see where it goes. It has good potential. We'll talk about, well, I guess, yeah, everything we'll just see in itself. So that's really exciting there. Um, Another thing that's really, yeah, it's done really well. I think I also try sitting down and working on like I was saying, the way of thinking, like this reference frame. And although I think I have it in my head, I'm just having a really hard time putting it in writing and just, yeah, writing it out. So I don't know. I'm just gonna try to wing it and go for it and make that what this video is about. Uh, yeah, I hope it comes out good, but it's a very important thing. And the more that I'm becoming aware of this now by trying to write it down, and the more again now I'm trying to put it down into words and into a real sentence, I'm realizing this is something I've gradually taught myself over the past yeah, pretty much since I started thinking for my own, since adulthood, I guess. Yeah, so for about 5 years now, yeah, 5 years of thinking like this and just it's a process. It's not okay. I guess I'll just talk about the steps in it. It's not okay. There's three, I guess, steps or three levels, and what's very important is okay. First of all, be a realist, right? First of all, you have to accept reality, and that's just step number one is acceptance. Is just so I guess yeah, you accept it, then you have to understand it, and then you can go make changes and adjust it and move it to what you whatever, and then do it right and actually go through it with it. But it starts off right, just accepting, just understanding reality. You don't need, I'm not understanding, it's just accepting, just seeing everything around you, seeing what the situation is, taking yourself out of the situation, taking your ego out of the situation, taking any feeling, any emotion, anything that has intentionally take it out and have people that challenge you to take it out and make sure that you're taking everything out because obviously the better you can do this, the more accurate I think and the more confident your decisions will end up being. So it's really just yeah, it's a guide to confidence. Because at the end of the day, we end up making decisions. We all keep making decisions, and you can't know if your decision is going to be correct. You can think it's going to be correct. You can have a lot to assume that it'll be correct, and in many cases, but you do that through these phases. The thing is, explaining it like this and writing it and understanding it in this kind of order lets you scale it. It lets you take it from a simple decision of, oh, do I have enough money to buy this candy bar to yeah, making a big business decision because it's the same decision, it's the same type of understanding of the situation and understanding everything involved, and the same sort of decision process. It's just scaled up, right? Where there's a lot more factors and a lot more moving parts. Um, yeah, so I guess just in general, right, it's always good to I'm very into that, and I keep saying that for my team and everything. Right, build stuff scalable. It's very important that things can grow and change as they grow because things evolve and it's a good thing. You want it to because that will make it better and it'll improve it. Again, it's maybe making the right decisions, but that's again part of this. So back to the phases. So yeah, first step is really understanding. So accept the reality, understand accept it. It doesn't have to be what you want. It doesn't have to be something that makes any sense to you. Understand life is not always fair. Life is not right. It's just the reality, right? That at this part, there's no understanding. There's no care to understand. It's just this is the situation. And whether we like it or not, this is the situation. Then from there, you can go to the next step, which is sort of understanding. So now once you have the whole situation laid out, you can start seeing what you want to understand. Right now, you really can understand, right? In the sense of buying a chocolate bar, you now know how much it costs, you know how much money you have in your wallet. Okay, Now you can start making a decision that goes to, okay, understanding why is this price this much? Is it something that makes sense to me? Okay. And why do I have this much money? Or when will I get more money? Or right? Again, those are factors into that decision. And scaled up to on a company scale, it's you know who will this affect, right? What is this impact, right? What is the actual impact of this decision? What are the risks that we're taking in real numbers? And then again, in every investment situation, in every business situation, in any really smart situation for anything, right? You set certain risk levels that you're willing to take when it comes to taking a risk, when it comes to something that you're pretty confident about, right? Once you can lay it out in front of you and you see that one decision way outweighs the other one, which is what usually ends up happening, and that's kind of also where the confidence comes in. But then you can make that decision there. So yeah, just again framing it like this, doing first step first, making sure you really understand everything, because also you end up wasting a lot of effort and time understanding certain things that don't really affect the decision. That again, great to understand stuff, and it's always great to learn more, because the more I'm always saying this, right? The more you know, and as any individual in any position of power, but really anyone making any decision, you're a vessel that can only contain whatever knowledge you can contain. Every decision you're going to make is based on all of that. And the more you can get into your head, the more different types of ways of thinking and ideas you can get in there. And again, the more people you talk to also, but the more informed your decision is going to be, right? That's just ultimately the way it is. And your obligation as a leader is to know as much as possible. So always learn the random facts and try to learn information. But in terms of decision making and to make it ideal, right? You don't need to research everything. You just need to have a yeah, know the facts, and then figure out, okay, within this, what do I need? So that's that next step. And then from there, again, once you've aligned that, you can start changing stuff, right? You can adjust things once you really understand why something is the way it is, whether even if it's right, it could be very personal too. This also works in a internal, like understanding yourself, how you work, why you do certain things, right? First understand the facts. What are you, right? What are you deciding? You like eating sweet fruit, right? You like candy. You have a sweet tooth. Okay. And that's the way it is. Now, why do you have that? And then you can go into that, right? And then from there, you can say, okay, then once you understand the why, it's do you want to change it? Do you want to make any adjustments to it? Is there any reason to make adjustments to it? And you can go back then to the facts again and cycle through this whole thing again, where, okay, we want to change this. What are the facts around changing it, right? What will that affect? And again, it's not, this isn't any crazy ideas. It's not this new way of working, but it is a order and a frame that makes sense, that lets you scale thoughts and decision making to a point where at the end of all of this, right? Once you get at the end, you can make the adjustments, make the decision. Then you have to act, right? At the end of the day, this is just the reality. Again, back to kind of that first point, but a lot of this, most decisions, I would say, in general, for most people, right, are made but not actually acted on, are just an idea that, okay, wow, this is great, or hey, I want to start thinking like this, I want to start doing this, and you don't act on it, right? This way of thinking, right, in general, is not an overnight thing, right? This is a lot of effort, right, or work to try to think like this, to train yourself to think in a certain outside of yourself way first. That's the first part of the thinking. And that's kind of, I guess, maybe the hardest point, is being able to, before you start thinking about selfish, before you get into the emotional and the personal sides of stuff, you go to the outside, yeah, what's the facts, which is not your opinion, which is not what you want. Yeah, I mean, again, there's always the facts both ways. There's facts that you do want to be true and facts that you don't, but yeah, I guess this is not easy. And that's something I can directly point out. This is not an easy way of thinking. It's not an easy way of making decisions. It's a very successful way to do it. It's a very confident way where you understand the situation. You really understand what could go wrong. You understand uh, why you're making this decision, and then you understand also what you have control over and what you don't have control over, and it lets you then, as things progress, you also can make better decisions throughout, uh, because yeah, things. play out in their own way. And it's really about making sure that the decision you make gives the best chance of the reality playing out in the direction you want. And things are going to happen and they're going to keep happening and you're going to have to play the cards right and make decisions that are based on the knowledge and logic that you have set up. But again, thinking like this, like I said, it's not an easy thing. It's something that does require a lot of effort. But that ends up coming down to your goals, right? What do you want out of this decision? Whatever decision it is, if it's a big decision, like a career choice or something like that, what do you want out of that decision? Right? What's the reasoning for that decision? And then based on that, how accurate do you want to be with it? And then yeah, it comes down to that. So it's for the majority of people, I would say realistically, if you just want to make decisions in a grocery store, right? What you're buying for food, you don't need to apply this type of logic. You can, but it's way overthinking it. Um, but yeah, for more complex thoughts, for career decisions and things like that, right? Applying this logic and doing this step by step, really writing it out, doing it, and then again, finally, and then like I said, the final step, and that's can't stress this enough, doing it, just doing it. It's not anyone could do anything, and again, these videos are literally proving that at this point. I think already at this point, right? Even if I go nowhere from here, and we never take the spec, we never shoot it up. I very much believe we will. But even if not, just the fact that I'm sitting here, just the fact that we already have the team, just the fact that we have, that I'm going to Japan next week, right? Just the fact that all this is happening, and we're really building something huge. It's anyone could do it. It's really possible. You just need to commit to it and do it and actually be the one to do it, right? Most people, okay, so I guess this comes down back to the original thing, right? Most the issue and the reason why a lot of people don't let's say start companies or build something new, right? And try to build within an existing framework is because it's very tough to make a decision. And it's the reason for that is because you don't want to, you're scared to be wrong. You're scared to fail, to be wrong. And first of all, scared of failure, right, is something you need to get rid of to be anything because failing is how you learn. So that's step number one, right? Understand that failing is part of a process. You do, though, at the same time, as much as you're ready to fail, you do have to understand the responsibility. And if you're in any kind of position of power or in any, and I'm just using the word position of power, even though I don't really love that word because power sounds like a very strong word, and I mean it more in it's just anyone in a leadership role, I guess, is a good way, probably better way to say it. But anyone in any kind of leadership role is responsible for other people, and other people are relying on you then too. So you have this obligation to make sure that you're going to make the best decisions. Now, again, you can fail, you can make mistakes, absolutely, and you will make mistakes, but you have to make mistakes that are things that you couldn't avoid, things that you've tried figuring out, and it's just something beyond your current capabilities. And again, also make sure that you're never making the same mistake again. If you make a mistake once, that's the maximum amount of times you can make that mistake. You never make that mistake again. You get that figured out, and the next time it'll be a new mistake. And again, you'll keep making mistakes. And this is again why I always say, you want to have an advisory board. You want to have people that have advice that give you this advice so that you don't need to make those mistakes. You will make new mistakes. They will keep happening, but it'll be the next thing. And then again, the responsibility of it. And then this comes to this way of thinking where you're not going to know it. And you're right. You can't be scared to make a mistake. You have to be willing to make it. But at the same time, you also have to make sure that the thoughts and the decisions are as thought out as possible. And that's using this framework, really use this whole way of thinking to make sure that the decisions that you make are as thought out as possible and they are as developed and as far as possible, as far worked out as possible so they're not just an idea. Yeah, I think again, yeah, overall, I think I kind of did this. I think it came out pretty good. I think I kind of explained it pretty well. The Yeah, it's really just these steps and do them in order and do them again in order and do them again in order and keep breaking it down until you really understand the situation. And then once you understand the situation, it you also, again, like I said, it's that also part of the acceptance side is understanding that you have to accept that reality is reality. And once you understand that this is the way it is because of something that you cannot control, right? It's the law of the United States, of the country. You're not changing that right now. So, okay, it is what it is, whether you like it or not. And, that's the situation. So that's also accepting reality. But either way, hope you enjoyed. Hope this made sense. I hope if you watch this, I hope you're able to learn something, or hopefully you try this and let me know how it works. And good luck. Uh, Thank you.